When operating your chainsaw, avoid all situations which you consider to be beyond your capability. If you still feel uncertain about operating procedures after watching these videos, please consult an expert before continuing. Also consider taking a chainsaw course through your local dealer or forestry school, and of course, read the owner's manual. Before you begin, make sure you are using the latest in chainsaw safety equipment. This includes a protective helmet with hearing protection or earplugs, protective goggles or a visor, heavy-duty non-slip gloves, snug-fitting clothing with safety chaps, steel-toe safety footwear with non-slip soles. Always have a first aid kit, fire extinguisher, and shovel nearby. Every Poulan Pro chainsaw is equipped with a chain brake that is designed to stop the chain should you encounter any kickback. The chain brake reduces the risk of accidents. Take care when using your saw and make sure the kickback zone of the bar never touches any object. The chain brake can either be activated manually with your left hand or automatically by the inertia release mechanism. Kickback can be very sudden and violent. Most kickbacks are minor and may not always activate the chain brake. If this happens, you should hold the chainsaw firmly and not let go. Use the chain brake as a parking brake when moving over short distances to reduce the risk of a moving chain accidentally hitting your leg. The way the chain brake is activated depends on the force of the kickback and the position of the chainsaw in relation of the object that the kickback zone strikes. Never refuel the machine while the engine is running or is hot from recent use, and always make sure your fueling area has plenty of ventilation. After fueling, move the machine at least 10 feet from the refueling point before starting it. Never start the machine if you've spilled fuel or chain oil on the machine. Wipe off spillage and allow remaining fuel to evaporate. Never start the machine if you've spilled fuel on yourself or your clothes. If your Poulan Pro product is equipped with a two-stroke engine, it must always be run using a mixture of gasoline and two-stroke oil. When mixing fuel, even small inaccuracies can drastically affect the ratio of the mixture. For best results, use Poulan Pro brand two-stroke engine oil. This oil is specifically formulated for our two-stroke engines. All Poulan Pro products use a 40-to-1 mix, which means 3.2 ounces of oil are used to 1 gallon of gas. Poulan Pro two-stroke oil comes in convenient bottles that are easily added to 1 gallon of gas with no measuring required. Never use two-stroke oil intended for water-cooled engines such as TCW3, sometimes referred to as outboard oil. Never attempt to mix the oil with the fuel in the gas tank on the unit. Always mix gasoline and oil in a clean container intended for fuel. Start by filling half the amount of the gasoline to be used. Then, add the entire amount of two-stroke oil. Shake the fuel mixture for at least 10 to 15 seconds. Add the remaining amount of gasoline and reshake for 10 to 15 additional seconds. Next, untwist and remove the fuel cap. Pour the fuel into the tank to 80% of capacity. When finished, fasten the fuel cap securely and wipe up any spillage from around the unit. Do not mix more than 1 month's supply of fuel at a time. If the machine is going to be stored for an extended length of time, the fuel tank should be emptied and cleaned. Starting and stopping your Poulan Pro chainsaw is a simple process. Follow these steps, and you'll ensure safe usage and longer life for the product. The chain brake should be activated while starting the chainsaw. Activate the chain brake by pushing the front handguard forward. When starting with a cold engine, set the choke control in the choke position by pulling the choke control outwards. This automatically sets the stop switch to the start position. press the air purge 6 times until fuel begins to fill the bulb. The bulb does not need to be completely filled. Pull the starter handle with your right hand and pull out the starter cord slowly until you feel a resistance. Then, firmly pull the starter handle. Try not to pull the starter cord beyond 12 to 14 inches. Pull rapidly until the engine fires or tries to start. Listen for a noise that sounds like the engine partially started or fired for a few revolutions. This will usually happen in 2 to 3 pulls. Then, push in the choke control. Repeat pulling the starter handle until the engine starts. As the chain brake is still engaged, the speed of the engine must be set to idling as soon as possible. This is achieved by depressing the throttle lock, quickly increasing the engine RPMs with the throttle trigger, and then releasing immediately. This prevents unnecessary wear to the clutch drum, and the brake band. Do not further rev the engine until the chain brake is disengaged. Never start a chainsaw unless the bar, chain, and all covers are fitting correctly. Without a bar and chain attached to the chainsaw, the clutch can come loose and cause serious injury. If the engine is warm or previously run, the correct choke setting is obtained by pulling the choke control out and then pushing it back in again. This will set the fast idle control. Press the air purge repeatedly, at least 6 times, until fuel begins to fill the bulb. The bulb need not be completely filled. Pull the starter handle with your right hand and pull out the starter cord slowly until you feel resistance. Then, pull firmly and rapidly until the engine starts. As the chain brake is still engaged, the speed of the engine must be set to idling as soon as possible. This is achieved by depressing the throttle lock, quickly increasing the throttle trigger, and releasing it immediately. This prevents unnecessary wear to the clutch drum, and brake band. Remember to disengage chain brake before accelerating the engine. Stop the engine by switching off the ignition.